Hi, welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm excited to present my course, Python Fundamentals from Basics to Practical Applications. In this course, we will study Python programming and what makes it different from other languages. Okay, we will start the course with a short review of programming languages. Then we will learn what Python is and why it is so powerful and useful. We will also study how to install Python with Anaconda, set up a virtual environment, and install an IDE to run Python codes. After that, we will learn basic Python commands and instructions, and then we will write our first lines of code. And finally, we will build useful applications in Python. So let's get started. So let's explore the history of programming languages. Okay, in 1940s, we had the early versions of machine and assembly languages, which were very tied to hardware. Okay, in the 1950s, high-level languages made coding easier. For example, the Fortran created by IBM in 1954 was used for science applications. And also the COBOL language from 1959 helped with business applications in government and finance. Also in the 1960s, new ideas and paradigms came up. For example, Algo language from 1960 brought structured programming, shaping many languages. In addition, the basic language from 1964 made coding easier, especially for schools and in universities. Okay. In the 1970s, C language built by the Bell Labs in 1972 improved system programming with its speed and efficiency properties. Okay. Also, the Prolog language from the same year, 1972, started logic programming. Okay. In the 1980s, C++, created in 1983, introduced object-oriented programming, helping build complex software and applications. In this course, we will study object-oriented programming in detail, focusing on how it works in Python to create flexible and powerful programs. The 1990s internet growth brought new programming languages, starting a journey that grew over time. For example, Python from 1991 is great for general coding, data science, and web applications. Also, R from 1993 is perfect for statistical analysis and data visualization. Also, Java, created by Sun Microsystems in 1995, lets you write the code once and run it on any device, making it perfect for web and data and business applications. On the other hand, the JavaScript, also from 1995, was built by Netscape to add dynamic features to the websites to make them more engaging. In the 2000s decade, new languages appeared, like C Sharp, introduced by Microsoft in 2001, and it was useful to build software. Also, Google introduced Go language in 2009, and this language is considered to be fast and simple to build reliable programs. And in 2010s, the rise of mobile apps led to have new languages like Dart language by Google and introduced by Google in 2011, and also Apple introduced a Swift language back in 2014 to design mobile apps for iOS devices. And finally, most recently, we have, new trends for programming languages. For example, just from 2 years ago, we started to hear about Mojo language, okay, which is part of the Python family and is currently under development right now. Okay, and this new language, it seems to be quite useful because it combines, the speed of C++ and the simplicity, of the Python language. Okay, so Python is simple and it can be used in a wide range of applications, and also on the other hand, C++ is quite fast. Okay, so we have a new language that combines, the benefits from Python language with the benefits from C++. And here is the website of the Mojo language. Maybe you can have a look, and and also maybe you can learn more about this language to see whether it is going to be useful for your needs and your applications. So after having a short review about the history of programming languages in general, now we will start learning more about Python. Okay, so we will study why we need this language, and also we will learn how to install Python with something is called Anaconda software, and also how to create, our virtual environment, and also how to install and run, the Spider, the IDE, you know, to write and run the code. And also we will learn how to install the packages and also write, very basic Python code. So what is Python basically? Okay, Python is a high-level, versatile programming language. Okay, and the high-level feature of Python means that this language uses simple, readable code that is easy to learn and understand. It's quite simple, just like writing the code in plain English. So we don't need to deal with complex hardware details. Okay, instead that we deal with our code from a high level, and we don't worry about the low level details of the code. Okay, and also it is a versatile language because that Python can be used for a wide range of applications. For example, we can design a web app using Python, and also we can use an application for the data science, and also for data visualization, machine learning, AI, and so on. So that's why Python is quite useful. Also, Python is a powerful object-oriented, interpreted, and interactive programming language. Okay, let's take it, each feature one by one and understand why. So, object-oriented feature of Python means that we can organize our Python code into different or several objects, and each object basically deals to solve a certain problem or part in the code. Okay, so it's a quite dynamic. We can have, different objects. We can divide our task in the code into different objects, and we assign each object for a certain task in the code. Okay, it's a quite dynamic and it's quite powerful and useful. And also that object-oriented means we can create a variable, for example, variable name, we name it as variable x, and this variable, we can assign or we can add, other variables to it to be represented by the same variable. For example, we can define a variable named as y, and y is this variable is just like a string variable, and we can add it to the to the variable x. And also we can have another variable, for example, z as a dictionary or as a list. Also we can add it to the variable x. And it means that the variable x we have, in Python, uh, represents, y and z and so on, represent different types of data in the code. Okay, and down the road, when we go through the course, we will learn and we will know how powerful and useful the feature of object-oriented in Python is. Okay, also Python is considered to be interpreted language because it's it runs the code line by line without needing to be compiled first to get the results. Okay, so it's quite fast. We can test the code and fix the errors in the code by what? By just running the code line by line. Instead of like other languages, the old languages, we have to compile the full code first, and then once after we compiling the first, then we can run and test the code. No, with Python we can test the code line by line, which is also quite useful. Also, the interactive, feature in Python means that uh, we can type our Python code directly into a console or the command prompt of Python to get the results, right? So it's like it's quite fast. Instead of like writing the full code, we can just like log into our console or our command prompt, and then we type the line that we need, and then we hit enter. We can see the results. So it means that we have also a console or a command prompt. It's kind of our connection with the compiler of Python to get the test to test the code quickly, and also to fix the error. Okay, and in terms of the history of Python, this language was created by a Dutch programmer. His name is Guido van Rossum, in the late of 1980s. And but the first version, of Python was released back in 1991. So in 1991, people started to hear more about Python. Okay, and it went through, a long journey of modifications, and adding features, fixing errors, over the time. Like, for example, we have in 2000, back in 2000, we have Python version 2, and also the Python version 3 released back in 2008. So Python has a long history back in time, and maybe you can just Google his name, the name of the creator, and to have a look about the history of this genius programmer, okay, about the reasons how and when and why he created, Python program language. And finally, as you know that we know that Python is useful because it's simple, quite simple. It deals with it works as a high level, uh, language, and it's easy for us to learn the scripts, and it's quite useful for the beginner because the beginners, they need, like it's easy for the beginners to learn the Python, and also it's useful because of it's versatile language, can be used for any wide range of applications, and also like Python is supported by a huge community, and and packages and libraries, right? So we have an extensive support and libraries like NumPy, Pandas, and so on. You know, and here is the good thing about Python. When we have a code, okay, we just need to import or to install or to call the library that is only supported for this certain part of the code. Right? So when I need, I can just import NumPy to do some math, right? And when I deal with data visualization, I need to call matplotlib library to our code and so on. So it means that we have different packages, and each package can be used or can be called to run a certain task in the code. Okay, and also with the code, with down the road in the course, we will learn more about these libraries and how to use them, in our applications. Finally, uh, Python can be used to work or installed on different, operating systems. For example, it works on Windows, Mac, Linux, and so on. So it is considered to be, cross-platform based programming language. That's why it's quite useful and important. This slide shows the official Python website, which is python.org. Okay, so if we click on the link here, we will get this website, right? So basically, it is the best place to download, Python for different platforms or operating system. Like for example, you can download it for Windows and also for Mac or OS and also for other platforms like Linux and even for Android and so on. So you just need to click on the link for each version that you want, and then you go to that link and you can hit download and install it. Okay, but in this course, we will try a different method. Like instead of installing Python directly from this website, we will install first the Anaconda software, and then from Anaconda software, we will create our environment. And then from that environment, we will load Python, as we will see later uh, in the course. Okay. Also here, on this website, we can find documentation, and tutorials and guides, to learn Python, like for all levels, like for beginners and even also for experts. For example, if we click on the link here, we will get like this page which has information about, information about Python and how to and also some tutorials. Like for example, if we click on this link here, which is for free, we will see we will get this page which shows like how to learn Python, why we learn Python, and so on. Also, it gives nice, like tutorials and books, to learn Python. Okay, so it's quite useful. Also, the website, has a community section, uh, to connect you with other Python users, to get feedback and help, you know. Okay, there is a nice feature here on the website that we can run Python code online. Okay, so here is an interactive shell or console or command prompt, to run Python. Okay, so you just click on this uh, link, and then it will load the console, Python console for you. Okay, so as you see here that the console here loads Python with the version 3.1.13.1, and it runs on Linux OS with a GCC compiler. Okay, so here is the Python console. You can write your code. For example, you can just say print and then just double quotation, like, hello world, and then you can hit enter. So we will get the output, right? So just like it's a console, it's a shell, to run the Python online. Okay. Also, maybe you can do something like, okay, we define a variable x, and it has a value which is 1, and then we define another variable, for example, y equals 2, and then we define another variable which is z, as like x plus y. Okay, then we can just print the result, which is z. Okay, so it is quite simple here, like this side, this page can be used, to do quick testing, and to check your code. Okay. Okay, and this slide shows the list of Python versions. Okay, so if we just click on this link, which is devguide.python.org/versions, okay, we will get this web page, right? It shows, a nice chart of Python versions over the time. So here is the time frame in years, and also here are the corresponding Python versions, so we can see like from 2.7 until the Python 3.15 and so on. And for each version we have like different status keys, as we will see later. Okay, so here is the table for the supported versions. So for example, like the Python version 3.14, it is the current status is the pre-release, and the first release will be in October this year, 2025, and end of life of that version is going to be late 2030. Okay, and here is the name of the manager, the person who is responsible, to manage all that version, and also to look after all the issues, and also to build the binaries and releasing, the full versions of that version. Okay, and here is the full list of the unsupported versions. So no more changes are allowed for these versions. For example, 3.8, 3.7, and so on, because they have reached to the status of end of life. So no more, features can be added to that version. Okay, here is the full chart. Like it has more details about all the versions from Python 2.6 until Python 3.15. Okay, now the important thing is about the status keys for each version. So as we see here, that for each version, there is a key of the current status of that version. For example, this one here, Python 3.15, it is the status key of this version is feature. And also for the other one here, we have the pre-release. And for this version, we have the bug fix, security for this one, and so on. So the details here, the details or the explanation of each status key is presented here. For example, the feature key means that before the first beta, the next full release can accept new features, bug fixes, and security fixes. Okay, so they accept all these changes before releasing, the full version. And also the status key of pre-release means that after releasing the first beta or the first version or entire version, no features can go in. They don't accept new features, but only the features fixes. Only, like we have a new feature, but this feature might have some issues. So they accept the changes, to correct those issues, to make this a new feature to be perfect or complete or in perfect condition. Okay, and once they do that, new binaries basically are built and released, every 2 months. Okay, so it means they work on it, over the time. They accept feedback and guides from users, and the team of Python work on those issues, try to correct them, and release, the correct Python code. And also there is a status key for security. So after 2 years, from releasing the full version, the first full version, they accept, issues and changes about the security of that Python version. Okay, but only maybe after 2 years, because as you know that it is not only that when we have a new version, that means that we have a good version. No, we need it's the time will tell. It means that we have to test it. We need more time, to make this new version in a solid and robust condition. Okay, so there are many issues, including bug fixing, adding new features, and also many issues about the security for each version. Okay, so as you see here that in the chart, each version takes about 5 years, to get to be in good shape. 5 years for each version. you know that's why Python is considered to be quite useful, very strong and robust, because due to the huge support that Python gets from the community, and also even from the team of Python. Okay. So let's see how to run Python code. Python code can be run directly from the Python shell. Okay, and also we can run it using .py files, and also we can run Python code using integrated development environments, IDEs software. Okay, about Python shell, as we explained previously in the slides, that the shell is just an interactive mode or window we can to run our code line by line. Okay, and about the files, we can create a new file, an empty file, and then we put our code inside that file, and then we save it as a .py file, .py file. Okay, to indicate that this file contains Python code. Okay, and then once we do that, we can load the file directly from the command line. As like for example here, we can go to our command line, and then we can say Python, then we put the name, we give the name of the Python file .py, and then we hit enter to get the results or the output. Okay, using the .py files, it's quite useful because we can run multi-lines, of Python code, instead of just running the code line by line, which is not that friendly. Okay, also we can use a proper IDE software, to run Python code, and there are many IDEs available. For example, we have Spider IDE, we have VS Code IDE, and also we have PyCharm IDE, and so on. Some of these IDEs are free to use, and the others are are paid. So we have to pay in order to use, that IDE. Okay, and as we will see later in the course, that dealing with IDEs will make Python learning much easier than than that of dealing with the command or the Python shell, because the IDE provides a nice interface between the user and the Python compiler. So we can write our code, and also we save the code, and then we run the code line by line, and to debug the code line by line, and to get the output line from that line, from each line, and monitor the output. Okay, so it's very useful. It's like a very friendly. Okay, and in the course we will use one of these IDEs to learn Python. Okay, finally, about the Python shell, as we explained previously, that we just need to command the prompt, and we write or we type Python, and then we hit enter, and then this will open or create a new Python shell for you, which provides the Python version, and also information about the processor that we have, and also about the virtual environment that we are using to deal with Python. Okay, and later in the course, we will learn how to install this environment, virtual environment, and how to deal with it. We will see that using the virtual environment will also make, the journey of Python learning much easier. Okay. So what we have covered so far, as you know that up to this point we had a quick review about the history of programming languages in general, and also we had a quick introduction to the Python language and why Python is a great choice for coding. Okay, now we will stop to focus on Python coding as we need to study important tools to run Python code, like the Anaconda interface, and also to set up our virtual environment, with Anaconda. Okay, and also we need to study how to install the IDE, I mean the interface that we will be using to run Python code, and also to install the other tools, for our environment. Okay, this setup, I mean using the Anaconda and the IDE, will make learning Python much easier. Okay, so we will start this in our next lecture. So thank you so much, and see you then.